Well, good morning, everybody. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host, once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today to Lions Talk Live. You know, a lot of things going on in the NFL. I'm sure everybody's aware next week is the trade deadline. We're not really going to do a whole lot with the trade news today. There's no updates I can give you, but we are going to focus on the big Monday night football game, Detroit versus LA, the Raiders coming into Detroit. I think we all know by now the Lions have never beaten them on Monday Night Football. Not that they've played a ton of games; they're 0 for 2. But hey, I think the Lions have a great opportunity to make sure they get their first ever win here. So with that being said, hey, I see the comment section's already busting up. So before we get into that, I do got to do the normal stuff. You guys all probably know the drills, all that kind of things. Hey, if you're new to Lions Talk Live, please consider subscribing. We'd like to try to make a push to get to 4,100 subscribers by kickoff on Monday. If you can help make that possible, sure would be thankful. Also, if you got an extra second, go ahead and hit that like button, thumbs up button, whatever you want to call it. If you are considering buying property in the state of Michigan, Lower Peninsula, Upper Peninsula, vacant land, a new home, secondary home, commercial property, you get the gist, whatever it's going to be. Give me a call, maybe a text, 269-998-2384. Some of you already been doing that, and I've been able to help you save, a significant amount of money on either purchase or sale of a property. So if you're looking for somebody who's going to work on your behalf, save you some money, hey, give me a call or text. All right, let's go ahead and get into the comments section. I see you guys are here early and often this morning, so let's get going. Earl, what do you got? All right, let's go Lions. I'm down with that. Bruce, good morning, Coach Dan. Good morning to you too. Franz, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think we put one on the Raiders badly. Yeah, I think there's a real possibility for that, especially if you look at yesterday's injury report for the Raiders. I talked yesterday about the Raiders defense. Maxx Crosby obviously is an incredibly good defender. Their defensive line outside of him, it's not bad. It's just not great. Their linebackers kind of the same. They're not bad. They're just not great. Their secondary is pretty good. But according to the report yesterday, that secondary may be a little limited come Monday. And I get they still got, several days to heal up, etc. But Bennett, one of their corners, limited practice. Man, their kicker didn't practice. They've got a lot of injuries, and more than I probably anticipated before, looking into them a little bit more deeply. But Nate Hobbs, limited practice. Marcus Peters did not practice, and that's just their secondary players. You got linebackers, defensive ends. I think we all know Jimmy Garoppolo is limited in practice, and if he can't go, man, I think it could just be a total bloodbath. So I think if Garoppolo can play, watching some film, and I promised you guys I would try to break down their teams a little bit, you could see that, with Garoppolo, they're significantly better, and I get it. Most teams are with their starting quarterback. Do I think he's going to be able to keep them within 10, 14 points? Probably. He's not a bad quarterback. That being said, let's keep going on. We'll dive a little bit more into it as things go on. Drake, what do you got? Anyone know when Houston gets back? Yeah, I would say after the bye week, then maybe about another week or two. I would say before Thanksgiving, but, really you're somewhere in that couple weeks time frame. Barbary Lions, is there a good chance we land Sweat from the Commanders? I think so. You guys heard me talk about it earlier in the week. I became privy through some media friends of mine that the Lions had inquired about him and Fuller, and then became Allen and Fuller, etc. We now know from posted Washington Post and other media members, the Commanders did reveal they did receive a trade offer, though they don't say who the team is. One trade offer for Sweat, none for Chase Young. So if that one team is indeed the Detroit Lions, we just don't know what the draft compensation is. And I'm guessing there's a little bit of a difference between what they're wanting and what we're offering, which is why we haven't got them. All right, Steve, what do you got? Would love Sweat? Yeah, I agree. He's to me, he's a lot like Houston in his ability to get to the quarterback, but he is better against the run, where Houston, you guys, if you watch this, show even once or twice, you probably heard me say that's the area he really needs to develop. All right, Bergs, what do you got? Good morning, Dan, and all Lions faithful. Let's go Lions. Let's stay positive and get the dub this weekend. Yeah. Good morning to you, Bergs, as always, and hopefully you're having a good one. And Phil, I know I didn't get to all your questions yesterday. I apologize for that, but I think you're just very analytical, and I think you do a good job of stuff, man. So yeah, sorry I wasn't able to respond to you sooner yesterday. Berg's Sweat would look great in the Lions colors, yeah, especially on passing downs. You think about the flexibility you now have to go with maybe Sweat and Houston on the edges, Hutch and somebody else on the inside, maybe just keep Hutch on one of the outsides. Either way, though, you're going to be able to do a whole lot with that lineup. Brother Ken, greetings and salutations from Denver. Hopefully you're having a good one. Hopefully you're having a good Mountain Dew too. Yeah, always good to see you in the chat there, Ken. And I know you get up early for this, so hey, thanks for that. Steve, yes, maybe Fuller. Watch out. Yeah, if the Lions were able to pull that off, were they able to get, just say Sweat and Fuller, that would help their defense significantly. And, if you guys heard me talk about my one real worry with the secondary, now that Manuel Mosley, we know he's not going back this year, is just depth. Will Fuller, I mean, we all Will Harris, we all like him. It's just, I think they could afford to do something more there. All right, JP, what do you got? Good morning. Good morning to you too. Hopefully you're having a good one. Robert, greetings and salutations to you as well. All right, One Funky, good morning. Yep, good morning to everybody. Everybody in the chat, good morning. I remember Barry versus Bo was a great game. Yeah, they really did, Steve, build that up. You're 100% right. I remember the hype for that game still, man. And yeah, that was something. Yeah, I knew where you were going with that, man. Brother Ken, what do you got? What's your take on Lions trading for Cardinals safety? Buda Baker, dude's a serious playmaker. Yeah, I'd be okay with it, just because CJ, I think we all get he's a playmaker, but you're gonna at best get him the last couple of weeks of the season. Tracy Walker, you guys probably get. I like him. I just don't think he makes plays. Yeah, he makes hits though. Ain't no doubt about that. But Ken, yeah, I'd be all for them picking him up because again, I think we've got some real nice pieces on both sides of the ball. I just don't think we have a lot of playmakers. For all we can say about Jameson Williams, his rights, his wrongs, he's still basically a rookie, whatever we want to say. I think the one thing we can all agree on, if he gets things figured out and when that happens, the guy's a playmaker just because he can do things very few other humans can. St. Brown is going to beat everybody left and right because of his work habits and stuff like that. I mean, he's very Jerry Rice-like, I guess you could say, in the way he's able to get in and out of routes. But on the defensive side of the ball, okay, I think Houston, if he can get good against the run, he's a playmaker. Hutchinson is a playmaker. Now, can he get one or two other guys to really take that defense to another level? I love your idea of getting Baker over here because I think, man, that secondary would start looking pretty good. All right, what do you got, Jay Mommy? And good morning to you too. I thought that Houston had a break in a leg. He did, but, it was right above the ankle. So, usually like 4 or 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks in some cases. And he's got to be, don't hold me to the math this morning. I would say he's got to be around 4 to 5 weeks into that healing process right now. Maybe I'm wrong. He broke it against Seattle. That was week 2. This is week 8. So, yeah, I guess that's about right. All right, here's Johnny. Out West Raiders. Yeah, the Out West Raiders. Yeah. They're all over the place. And, I can't wait to see this game. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do. I'm really hoping, and you'll see the score prediction at the end, that we put one on them. All right, good morning to you, Gary. Hopefully you're having a good one. Bergs, Ford Field should be rocking. Hopefully it's loud. Like that Monday night game against the Bears fans. Helped to get 11 false starts. Go Lions. Yeah, and I think Jimmy G or whoever is going to be under center for the Raiders, they're going to have a real problem, especially as they get near either of the end zones communicating. That place is just going to be a madhouse. If I'm the Raiders, I get you're playing for your lives in your coaching careers. That's I think the only reason why they tried to put Jimmy G out there. But man, if his back ain't right and now he's under pressure, oof. From a coaching standpoint, I think that's a real problem because you're going to affect his mobility. Some of his mechanics throwing, and I get they'll do some things pre-game to get him loosened up and ready where he can't field as much. But yeah, I would worry about him. But I mean, he's still got a couple of days of practice. Maybe he's okay and good to go. If not, if he doesn't play for them, I think they've got zero chance. Been wrong before, though. Ozzy Osbourne, good morning to you. Do you think we need to get J-Mo the ball in the slants or get him the ball earlier? I would like to see them try to get him involved. The problem is, do you slow down the offense just to try to get him some reps? I would say just let it happen as it is, unless you got a couple of specific, plays designed where you guarantee touches and hey, he's going to be able to get this or that out of it. But I'm just gonna say this. I think we all need to keep reminding ourselves, for the most part, he's just a rookie. And I remember everybody wanted to crucify Herman Moore and even Calvin their rookie years because they had expectations through the roof. And they were kind of down here. They both developed over time, and I believe Jameson Williams will. He's going to need some more confidence here and there, and hopefully a couple of good plays here and there helps build that confidence more and more. All right, what do we got? Wilson, aloha. Hey, good morning to you too. I know it's super early there, like what, 1 o'clock or so. So I know you're at work. Yeah. Good morning to you, and thanks for tuning in. Phil, man, how you doing? Raiders were embarrassed too. They can be ready. They will be. Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes down to just Detroit's at home. Raiders got to fly across the country, basically. There's a lot of things like that. Doesn't mean they can't win. I just think the Lions are going to be able to pull this one off, especially the more I look at that injury report. With the game being Monday, I think Friday's injury report will be the big reveal. If Jimmy G's still limited, half their secondary still limited practice or not able to go, yeah, it could be a long day for the Raiders. We'll see, though. Cloud, what do you got? What's your favorite flavor Mountain Dew? Just the traditional one, man. Half diet, half regular. Has to be from a fountain and from Circle K. So that way, if I drink it from a bottle, it's just too strong, at least for my taste. All right, Wilson, start bringing a dude to the show. Lions win 28-10. It's just one of those things, man. It's a habit of mine. I drive over to the Circle K, man. I say good morning to Bobby. Sometimes she tries to talk me into a hot dog off the roller grill. Just one of those things, man. It's daily habits. Yeah, come back and get ready for work, yada, yada. All right, Trey, what do you got? Is it Allen or Sweat? They were more likely in the trade. It sounds like the Commanders want Allen to be the person gone. And I guess the logic there would be they've got so much into both defensive tackles right now, and with both ends contracts up after this year, I guess maybe if you trade Allen, you can use that money towards Chase Young and Sweat. But we do know that the only offer out there right now is for Sweat. So, I guess that's what we can say is right now, until they get other offers, the only person looking to trade for or being purchased by another team is Sweat. So, all right. Hey, good morning to you. With Marvin Jones leaving, is the Lions looking to trade for a wide receiver? Kenny is okay, but for the playoff push, morning. It sounds like they're just going to keep it in-house, for the most part, other than bringing back Tom Kennedy. I guess that would say to me that they see Green and Drummond as being viable pickups or, I guess, additions to the roster permanently. So go with that, I would say. Maybe something happens. I can't think of any free agents that are out there that you'll be like, man, we got to go get that guy. So maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't heard anything about them trying to pick up a wide receiver at this point. Who knows? Let's see. Nicholas, what do we got? Good morning. What's the word on the deadline? I'm assuming you've probably already heard me talk about that. Nothing real new. I think Washington's still probably the play as far as who we would trade with. I do really like Brother Ken's idea, though, of picking up Baker from the Cardinals. I think that would be a nice fit. Where did I go to high school? Kalamazoo Central, back in the day, back in the 80s and, real early 90s. So, yes, KC, the infamous KC. All right, Wilson, what do you got? Lions going to treat the Raiders like we got handled last week. I think there's a strong possibility for that, Wilson. I think we really could put it on them. And again, if their injuries line up like they're currently showing, I think the Raiders are in trouble. That being said, anything can happen, man. I mean, we all know it. We've seen, was it this year alone, 49ers lose to two teams we thought just a couple weeks ago they would have buried. Arizona beat the Cowboys, so it happens, man. Kevin, greetings from Cincinnati, and greetings and good morning to you too. Manifest my destiny. Man, I haven't seen you in the chat in a while, man. Good to see you back. Good morning, Dan. Hope you and the family are doing well. Been a while since I've been on live. I feel like I just said that, but yeah, glad you're back, man. Hopefully you're having a good one. Hopefully the Lions give you a reason to smile and have a Mountain Dew on Monday night. All right, Daryl, what do you got? Good morning, Coach. I wish Megatron could work with JMO. I think he probably has, to some degree, probably offered some thoughts of wisdom. I think they'll all be fine. I think Jameson Williams will be fine. I just think we're all going to be struggling through a lot of the growth of a rookie player. That I get some rooks come in and they knock the ball out of the park. He's not that guy. He's got a lot of good things, a lot of things he's learning. He's going to develop. I think we just got to give him time. Just, like I think I've said before, every game, just a little bit better, and that adds up to being a whole lot by the time the playoffs come around. All right, Lions are more than 2 TD win over the Raiders lists. I think personally, we're going to win by a comfortable margin. I could be dead wrong, but I think we're going to win pretty well. Let's see, Phil, how about letting JMO return kicks? I know he did it in college. I know he was pretty good at it. I just wonder if they worry with his injury with the knee and everything. If maybe, they just don't want to. That'd be my guess, at least, that they're just worried. Hey, we're just starting to get this kid on the field, just starting to get him, really developing and learning, risking putting him out there and getting him hit. I mean, I don't know. I think he can do it. Maybe next year, though, is what they're thinking. Who knows? Jimmy G is IR Hall of Fame material. All right, yeah. Injured reserve for Hall of Fame material. Yeah, he's on there quite a lot. He's just, remember when he got traded from New England, everybody thought, man, he's the dude, he's the guy. And then just unfortunately, one injury after another, and there's just some players like that. They could be great players. It's just they can't stay healthy. It's unfortunate. Rick, what do you got? What up, though? Just got in. Any updates on trades? Thanks from Arizona. Nothing new that I haven't already talked about. That's all I've heard. So if I hear something else in the day, I'll try to hop on with stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little panel I put together yesterday. And I do want to thank them all for getting on. I really tried to reach out to a couple other teams, content creators, to try to get them to come on, just to see what do people from this city or this team's fan base think about the Lions. So just trying to give us some different perspectives. All right, Brother Ken, Campbell doesn't want JMO to do any returning. Yeah, I would say definitely with, just kind of him getting back into the gear of things, not wanting to risk him going out there and getting hurt. That would be, I think that at that point, that'd be catastrophic if he got hit or injured returning a punt or kick. All right, Mr. Nico, Lions are going to get, yes, I think they're going to get a huge win here. And going into the bye, 6-2, we're getting healthier, and now they're going to get a whole lot healthier leading into when they return. Nicholas, no worries, man. Yeah, anytime you got questions, just fire them on there. I'm here to try to help. Phil, Sarge is great on the group show. Yeah, Sarge, he does a good job with things, man. And maybe when he gets a little bit closer to retirement, he'll do this a little bit more. But he's getting up there. I think he's got to be close to 25 years in. So, anywho, getting back to this. Let's see. Donkey Kong, what do we got? Let JMO do something. Return kicks. Punts probably have to have someone catch it for him, and then hand it to him to JMO. I don't think his hands are that bad, man. I could be wrong, man. I just think he's fighting a lot of nerves, and just the more success we can get him, especially early in games, just help calm him down. It happens, man. He won't be the last player that has those, I guess you could say, rookie jitters and drops. All right, Scott, what do you got? Good morning. Sunday is a long day waiting for Lions on Monday, but expecting a show. Also, on pins and needles, see if Holmes makes a move or two to level up. Yeah, I think Scott, you're 100% right. I think by Monday, we'll probably have a pretty good idea if we're going to do something. I mean, who knows? Maybe they wait last second because the Lions do have an ideal buy of going into that trade deadline. I mean, you want to add somebody, you could do it Tuesday, knowing that you've basically got 2 weeks to get that person, if you were to acquire them, or persons acclimated, on the same page with whatever the OCDC or whoever. It would be interesting to me if they don't go for end rusher, linebacker, rusher, or corner. What else do they go for? Running back, I do think the more and more you guys have talked to me about it, the more and more I think it would make sense this year to go for it. It's probably not somebody I'd be investing a ton in, maybe a couple late round picks, but yeah, I think a lot of you guys have had some good points on that. All right, Wilson, Lions offense gonna put up a show Monday night. Yeah, I get both teams had embarrassing losses last week. If you're the Raiders, at least you could say, hey, we had a backup quarterback. Of course, so did the Bears. But I just think the Lions have everything lined up fairly ideally for them Monday. Anything can happen, though, man. All right, Mr. Nico, good morning, Coach and chat crew. The Lions will restore the roar against the Raiders. Coach, have you heard anything about Rodriguez in the fullback position? May the two be with everyone today. Thanks for the Duke comment. I think they're toying with it more and more. And you guys have talked, we've all talked about it, I guess, where they had been using, what's his name? The other tight end, Brock. They've been using him as a fullback, but then they started last week using Rodriguez. I think they get Rodriguez. You've got value there. You've got an athlete. You've got somebody who understands, and a lot of different things when it comes to leverage, displacement, shedding, things of that sort. It could be, I think, a real boost to his career because we all love the story of Rodrigo last year. I mean, Hard Knocks did a great job building this kid up. He became basically a pseudo superstar media creation. And not that he was a pretty good linebacker. The problem became, I think we're all seeing, is the other linebackers in the room all got better. And that's hurt his opportunity to get on the field. But now if he can reinvigorate his career by playing another position. So now, as we all know, the Lions love, people that can play multiple positions. So now you're a special team ace. You're a good linebacker, especially, in run defense. He's really exceptional there. And on top of that, now you can play fullback for this team. He probably will be here for a while because, again, you are saving roster spots by being able to have players that can do multiple things on the team. That's Will Harris, but I think Rodrigo's a lot better than Will Harris. All right, Manifest, what do you got? With the trade deadline looming, is there a position on the roster you wouldn't mind getting an upgrade that no one is talking about? That no one's talking about, boy. I kind of already mentioned running back, pass rush, cornerback, I guess offensive tackle. It's, we've got some real good starters. I just don't know if one of those guys went out or both of them went out. That would be horrendous. If I want Matt Nelson when he's recovered out there with in a playoff game. So we'll see. Speaking of injuries, will Pascal ever line up to his live up to his potential, or will he consistently be on IR early? 2 years, 2 times he's been on the injured reserve, right? So, he's one more injury away from being considered probably injury prone. So he's going to have to go a while without having another injury, but it can happen. I remember Stafford when he first got here. I think it was his first 2 years he kept getting hurt. And then he had something stupid like, 8 straight years without any missed games. The problem with a lot of players is once you've injured one particular aspect of your body, in Pascal's situation, a knee, it's no matter if it heals up or whatever, it's just going to be more injury prone. And that's just the reality of the situation, I guess. All right, Ernie, what do you got? Anyone notice J-Mo is a body catcher? Yeah, you'd like to see those hands and elbows extend, go out and get the ball, but they're going to have to keep working on them with it, and I'm sure they will. Let's see. Brother Ken, could you do analysis of any game film? I can. It's just, it's easy for me to do on a computer screen. I've got to figure out how I can do it while you guys are watching. And that's something with the bye coming up. I'm going to try to work on that and a few other things for you guys. I've even tried to toy with the idea of using basically a coaching board in front of the camera. The thing is, I'd have to get a clear one that I can draw on that you guys can see without a bunch of glare. So I'm gonna try to toy with some things because you guys have heard me break down offensive and defensive line responsibilities and stuff. I'd really like to start going through like route tree progressions, what the Lions do, what other teams do for receivers, tight ends, or backs out of the backfield, and then maybe get into some of the nuances of the secondary and linebackers. To be fair, so I'm going to keep working on that, and if I can figure something out, maybe even where we can use video. I know there's some rules on YouTube that I'm probably not the greatest at knowing about, but there are some that basically say you can use clips, but I want to say they got to be under like something like 8 seconds. So I can show a play for 8 seconds, and after that I got to pause it or something. But I'll work on that, man. All right, John, what do you got? I hope Brad goes all in with trades. I don't mind giving up a second and further if the deals are right. John, I would say you and I think alike. I get next year's drafts in Detroit. If I'm a GM, and I can only tell you from my experience as a GM, I could care less. I can't speak for Brad Holmes. It's okay if you guys think differently. I'm just telling you what I think. Me, you got a window of opportunity to be the number 1, 2, or 3 seed this year. I can't guarantee that will happen again next year, nor the year after that. So if it's me, I'm trading that first and second, and I'm getting, I hate to say it, but I'm probably going after a lockdown corner because now that secondary is pretty nice. I'm taking either, if I didn't use the second, I'm taking that second and third, and I'm trying to go get somebody who's opposite of Aiden Hutchinson who can go kill a quarterback. Because I think our linebackers are good enough. Yeah, there's no Ray Lewis out there, but they're good enough. That defensive line, you get somebody else up there that can get after the quarterback, it's not so bad. If you can get an interior tackle, even better. And then the secondary with Cam Sutton and whoever that other corner would be, along with Kirby and CJ or Walker or whoever, Brian Branch out there, that it's going to be hard to get much better than that. But I'm with you. But again, if they don't do it, I get that's not everybody's personality. I'm just uber aggressive. I guess let's go with that. All right, smoke you some. Hey, Dan, good morning. We're ready for the big news. As soon as I can get some, I'll pass it on to you guys without question. I'll do everything I can to get on the mic and get it to you guys ASAP. Phil, why doesn't anyone play both ways? There are still sometimes players that do it. It's just pretty rare. And the NFL game, I think, is just so physical. It's tough. In Rodrigo's case, since he's now a backup linebacker, I think it's a little bit more, plausible just because he's really playing special teams, a couple reps here and there on D, and then going over and playing a couple reps as a fullback. You're not overburdening his body. Man, I can't talk, but you guys get it. You're not overworking his body. I feel Skipper played well for us last year. I am surprised he hasn't played a bit. He got hurt again. I know when he did come back. And then the guard rotation, I think he's been fine as far as being a backup. All right, Ken, what do you got? Lions receivers coach needs to seriously mentor JMO. Yeah, they need to keep working on him, and I think they will. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. All right, Rick, what do you got? Trade for Prater. Yeah, we need a kicker if we get to the playoffs. Yeah, I think we're all aware of Patterson, Riley's. He's not bad. It's just, hitting beyond 45 yards becomes tricky for him. It is what it is. Thanks for that, Phil. Yeah, we hit the 4,000, trying to make that push now, 41, and then obviously 5,000. Really want to get the channel to 10K, whether it's this year or next year, because that's when we have the sponsor set up to have a, what do you want to call it, tailgate and bring you guys some food or something. So make you guys all help out. Brent, by the way, good morning. I'm hoping that this is Will Harris's last year's Lion. Rather see our young players getting reps and learning. They have more upside. Brent, I couldn't agree with you more. I do think Will Harris is probably on borrowed time. The reason why I say that is Gilmore. They've had him active now on the roster, I think 2 weeks in a row now. And they haven't put him in, but the fact that they now are consistently keeping him up there tells, at least to me, it's an indication that they're seeing him progress. Then they're probably pretty close. Hopefully we get some blowout games here and there. Monday night would be a great start, or maybe like the third quarter, fourth quarter, they can get him out there and just get him some game experience, get him comfortable a little bit. Some of the nerves gone. I think they're probably closer to having him out there than not. So long answer to your question. Phil, not sure what the question is. I guess go ahead and let me know. Sorry about that, man. All right, Manifest. It's unfortunate to see the fan base have such a short leash with JMO's career so far. He's essentially a rookie when it comes to game experience. Just needs time to develop. He'll be great. Yeah, I would say that it's. I mean, if you've been around sports long enough, you see it happen with lots of people. I mean, heck, man, you could look at Goff a couple of years ago. Everybody wanted him gone. Now he's here and he's doing pretty well. Khalif Raymond went from team to team. Nobody really was big on him until he got here. Now I don't think you'll see him or Josh Reynolds go anywhere anytime soon. Sometimes it just comes down to fits, and sometimes it just takes time. Not everybody comes in and is guns blazing as soon as they get in the league. I tend to believe that Jameson Williams in time will be okay. The big thing will be if he gets to the end of this year and we can't see clear growth and development, that will be a worry sign. But we'll see what happens. All right, Rick, what do you got? What's the draft be in Detroit next year? Brad might be a little hesitant to give up at first. Yeah, with it being there, I get that from an optic standpoint, but I mean, I'm gonna say this: if you're Brad Holmes or you're the fan base, I'll ask you guys, if you could say, hey, I'm gonna give up a first round, a second round pick this year, and that's gonna put us in the NFC Championship game or put us in the Super Bowl, would you do that, or are you gonna be more worried about calling out pick number 29 or 30 of the NFL draft? I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I can only tell you what I would do. It doesn't mean the opposite's wrong or right. I'm just saying I'm aggressive, man. I'm probably don't want to play poker with me because I can tell you, man, whenever I play Texas Hold'em with some of my buddies, I'd say this: the first or second hand, I'm all in quick. I'm going to intimidate somebody pretty quick, and that's how I am. All right, Brother Ken, hit that like button, and thanks for everybody who does. So if you can, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, all that stuff. All right, Bergs, agree 100% with Ann. We should go all in now. Anything could happen next year. Strike while it's hot. Yeah, because injuries happen. I mean, next year, hey, we held on these picks. We got some players. They're okay players. They're not great players. They're okay. They're end of the first round or whatever. Goff goes down with a knee injury. Meteor strike hits Ford Field and wipes out the team. You can't ever say for certain what the future is going to hold, especially in sports. Patty Grimes. All right. Oops. Hold on. Here we go. Patty Grimes. What's up? Hey, I'm just having a good morning. What's up? Good morning to you too. What's the chance Lions win Monday? I am going to the game. I'd say I'm going to put their win percentage rate at like 95%. There's always a chance the Raiders could win, but I think the Lions are set up pretty nicely. Could be wrong, though. Detroit D, good morning, everyone. One pride. I agree with you. Yeah, it's a great day to be a Lions fan. Smoke you some. You too. Good morning, all. Yep. Good morning to you, too. Mr. Nico, if Chase Young or Montez Sweat is buying a house in Michigan from you, are you going to tell us? Legally, I don't think I could. I know I've represented some people before that I'll just say I don't think as a realtor, I know I'm not allowed to, not unless I get their permission to say something. But I have not worked with any Detroit Lions on purchases of homes yet. So I didn't say anything about future ones, did I? Just joking. All right, Patty Grimes. Why do Lions fans want to get rid of Goff after one loss, the Ravens game? And just how things go. It's the nature of fandom, I guess. You know what? He comes out and throws 25 touchdowns in the first quarter Monday night and has 4,000 yards passing by halftime. You know what? They'll probably say, hey, give him a contract extension maybe right after the game. Detroit D, if we can get another edge rush corner and running back, that would be sweet. Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you guys more and more on another running back just because our two current primary ones have been so banged up. Man, but you could even say some of their backups have been so banged up. You look at Knight and then Mo, they're going through a lot. As far as corner, yeah, we need some depth there, in my opinion, and edge rusher would be nice. Phil, you said we need someone to kill a quarterback. Yeah, we need another, I think, edge rusher to get after the quarterback. Somebody who's just going to have a much higher win rate opposite Hutchinson than what we're currently seeing out there. Sorry about that. And Dash Render, is that a Star Wars reference? Dash Render? Long time diehard. Yeah. I think most of us probably, especially in this chat, have been the Lions fans for a significant amount of time. JP, what do you got? Make the trade, win now. Don't care about the draft being in Detroit nearly as much. Hey. Think that means you sent me a Mountain Dew. Thank you for that, Phil. Here, I'll do this. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I just got a Mountain Dew. Thank you. I'm gonna have to buy you guys all one. I'm gonna figure out how that works. Maybe at the 10,000 subs or whatever, maybe I can get the Mountain Dew or excuse me, Pepsi to come over and give you some. I'm going to work on that. That's, I got to try to find a sponsorship opportunity from Pepsi. Pound the drums. Trade Gibbs for Carter. That would help our D-line. Yep. We'll see if Brad Holmes pulls that one off. I'm guessing that's probably not an opportunity at this point. Hey, do fun for you. Thank you so much for that. Trey, thank you. Sometimes you have to say F those picks, go after the bigger prize if you're close to it. And that's kind of my thing is, I mean, man, as Lions fans, I mean, chances are if you're alive, you haven't seen them win a championship. I mean, I get there's going to be a couple of you people still, but our Super Bowl was the 91 playoff win, or 92, I guess, technically. But I think you guys get it, man. We haven't been here a whole lot. We can't guarantee it's going to happen again. I've said it to you guys before. I'd be trading for Surtain. I'd go over to Denver, fly over and say, hey, nobody's leaving this room till we get it done. Get him over here and now find a way to get Sweat or Young or somebody who's a legit pass rusher, Burns, because then that defense is a whole lot different. I get a lot of people don't want to do what I'm saying, but I'm also going to say I'm not, as a Lions fan, I'm not worried at this point. We got an opportunity this season. I'm not worried about 2025 or 6. I'm worried about 2023 and 4. So we'll see what happens. All right, Thomas, what do you got? If the Lions don't win Monday, same old Lions will be out in full force. You are 1,000% correct on that. If the Lions should fall to the Raiders and now have to go into the bye, oh, man, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be real nasty. Yeah, the fan base will be burning down Ford Field. It'd be an incredibly long time, not just for Campbell, the players, the front office, the fans. Yeah, you'll see a lot of people probably tune out. You'll see a lot of the bandwagon people probably untie their shoes and throw them through a window. But, hey, the good thing is I'm thinking we're going to win and win comfortably. So let's go with that. All right, Brett, what do you got? Will Jamar Jefferson be activated? He's got great moves whenever he's healthy, and he knows our system. It's a good question. That one, I just don't know. We'll see what happens. Phil, bring Swift back. And I'm guessing Philly's not giving him up. He's having a pretty good year. And yes, it's a contract year for him. I get that. Yes, they're utilizing him a little bit differently than what we did. Say what you want. I'm going to stick with at least my thoughts. When we went down to Dallas last year and he said he couldn't play, even though the coaching staff thought he could, that probably just ended his time here, regardless of anything else. All right, what do we got? The one funky. You won't ever hear me say pay Goff. Yeah, some people are not a Goff fan. My only question is, I guess if we, just for the sake of this discussion, if we don't keep Goff, where do you go? My biggest fear is bringing in another Scott Mitchell. I mean, you let Eric Kramer go, the greatest Lions quarterback of all time, to go get that dude, in essence. You didn't bring in Warren Moon or whatever, but all right, I'm not going there. But all right, if we get rid of Goff, does that mean that we see that Hooker is the man? And I get he's got more wheels. He's got a cannon for an arm. I guess that's what I'd say. But right now, I think it's a whole lot easier to get worse than it is to get better from what we have. So we'll see what happens, though. All right, Justin, what do you got? I see the JMO issue and think it's only only this amped because you're about at that point where he still holds that first-round caliber pick value. The longer we keep him, he doesn't perform. The more he risks, his value going down. I would agree with that, but you've got to just go ahead and say, hey, if you believe in him, if you're the coaching staff and think he can, develop, you probably got to keep going with him. I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything with him this year. But again, from where we are today, to where we are whenever the season does close, hopefully in the Super Bowl. As long as you could say, hey, we saw steady improvement and increase in abilities, they're probably going to keep him around for a while. And that's all I would say we should probably expect. It'd be great if he makes some massive leap forward, but in my experience, it's more realistic to see, moderate growth over a period of time. Maybe it happens. Maybe he'll just all of a sudden become great. Shadows the Empire. Yeah, I kind of figured that when I saw the name. Yep. Scott, what do we got? Call me crazy, but didn't Gilmore look real good in preseason? Let him get in Monday. I know it's only preseason, but he's got the pedigree, doesn't he not? Yep. And I would say there's a reason why they brought him up, kept him up, and then they haven't put him back down on the practice squad. They're either worried that somebody's going to snag him or that they see he is developing, talking about Gilmore. So I do think he's going to be in the field at some point in the season. It's just for whatever reason, Will Harris is their guy. And they all see something in him that perhaps you and I don't. Or I'm going to say this. You look at the defensive coordinator, and I like Aaron Glenn. I think he's developed over his 3 years as the DC. I also think he, Campbell, and Ben Johnson are stubborn. I'll say I think Aaron Glenn's a little bit more stubborn, though. So have they made a commitment to Will Harris and heard everybody bash him for, whatever, a year and a half now, 2 years, to the point where now they're being stubborn in removing him from the lineup just because they want to prove that we're correct in keeping him? Not saying that is the case. I'm posing a question. And if it's me, my guess is it's probably that. They don't want somebody else taking Will Harris's spot just because they want to wait for those moments when he does something right and they can come back and say, aha, we were right. We knew to keep this guy. Who knows? Detroit D. Harris and both Aquan brothers are on the trade block, low production from those guys. Yeah, and I would agree. They have not got out of them what they were hoping to get out of them. And hope gets you killed, man. Anyways, Dash Render, I hope everyone have a great Friday morning so far. DE or cornerback, if all possible. No, I didn't get the name from Star Wars either. Okay, fair enough. Trey, I want Surtain Young. Yes, I would say that would be ideal. There's got to be a reason, though, why nobody's made a trade offer for Young. And I know when I purported it earlier this week, the Lions allegedly were very specific that they did not want him. They wanted Sweat. So, who knows? Maybe it's just the way they were going to use him, but there's got to be a reason why. Pound the drums. What would it take to get Maxx? Ooh, that's a good question. If we could seriously get him, that would be worth trading the ship. That's a good question. What would it cost for the Raiders to give him up? I think we all get it's at least a first. After that, man, I don't know. I don't think he's 2 firsts. Maybe to them he is. Probably a first and a third. I don't know. If it would be something like a first and a fifth, which we don't have a fifth this year, or a fourth, I'd probably consider it. But who knows? All right, JP. What's Monty's status? My guess is, in just me speaking, he's out this week. He's got the bye. Maybe the first week after the bye, he's back, but I'm thinking he'd probably be out that game too. Beyond that, I think he returns. So good part is, man, his legs, his body are going to heal up. He's going to have some time. All right, Michael, hey, howdy, Dan, and faithful fans. Yeah, good morning to you too. Phil, Lions haven't fired a coach this year. Seems we start to play afterwards. Yeah, I would say, who are you firing? I don't know. I mean, we've had a pretty good start. We've lost 2 games to 2 playoff teams. I would say this. If you look at who we've played this year, outside the Kansas City game, our success for the most part has come against lesser level quarterbacks. We have struggled a little bit with Seattle, obviously, and then this past weekend as well with Lamar. Kansas City, hey, we had a couple things go our way. Great. They had a couple things go their way at times too. Lions, have looked fairly good outside of the Baltimore game, no matter who they played. So we'll see what shakes out. Maybe nobody gets fired quite yet. Patty Grimes, if Lions lose Monday, same old Lions fans will be out with pitchforks and torch for Goff. If Goff has a less than stellar game, I guess would be a good way to put it, and we lose, then yeah, the Boo Birds will be out. I think we all get that. Goff's next contract will dictate all personnel decisions. I would agree. And to me, if they do extend him, I think it'll be very telling how long they extend him. If I don't think there's any way he's signing a 2-year deal, 3 to 4 seems fairly, I don't know. I guess there's about a 60% chance of that happening. He's probably pushing for 5. But I think the terms, like if the team, say we sign him to 5, but they can basically buy him out or move on from the contract after 3 years, that means they're probably banking on Hooker trying, developing, sort of like a Jordan Love or whatever. And then when he gets to that second or third year of Goff's new deal, they're moving on from him. We'll see, though. I mean, again, we win here. We go on a big run the rest of this year. He's looked good. Probably a chance of getting rid of him, Goff, that is, are decreasing. Hooker, yeah, maybe Phil. All right, what do we got to Patty? All right, people think Hooker is Hall of Famer already. It's nature of the beast, man. When you bring in somebody, hey, the backup quarterback usually is the most popular dude on the team. Jack, what do you got? Some people still stuck on Stafford. Let it go. Man, I'm definitely aware of that. And I like Stafford. I do. But dude ain't been here in a minute. He wanted out of here. He got what he wanted. It's time to go on. Yeah, I would say. All right, let's see what we got. Phil, does Ben take Goff with him? That's a great question. That is a great question. No Goff equals cheeks. One funky. I won't cry if we pay Goff. He's bottom of the league, the arm strength and mobility. I mean, we'll just see where it goes. Let's see. Let's just say this. We'll see where it goes from things. All right. Been watching the Lions since early 70s. Still my team. Randy, yeah, I'm not quite early 70s. I'm late 70s. But, yeah, I would say that. Bergs, hey, thanks for that. Thank you very much. That's that's nice of you guys. Get some due. Great job, Bub. Thanks for that. Thank you all. Thank you very much for that. Jay Maui, bottom of the league in arm strength. Last pass to J-Mo was 55 yards in the air. Last year, Goff led the league in 40-yard completions. This year, he's leading the league in 20-yard pass completions. The only thing I would say about his arm strength, and it's not a big thing, is he can throw it long. I don't think anybody will deny that. Can he rifle it like Lamar or Stafford? No, but he can't. But how many guys in the league have that howitzer? That's also probably what I'd say. There's just not going to be a lot of people out there that can do that. And if I'm missing some of the comments, guys, I'm doing what I can. Just go ahead and repost them, and I'll try to get to them as quick as I can. We got about 3 more minutes here. All right, what do you got? Hooker needs to work on his short game. By that I mean he's not as accurate. Yeah, and I'm sure they're watching and evaluating him. This is a big position, so if they're going to move on from Goff, they better have a replacement. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what you have on the rest of the team. So the Lions brass are going to make the best decision for the team as far as what quarterback to go with. Seems Stafford would like to retire a line. Maybe. I mean, he did spend basically his career here, so that could be. Wouldn't that be something if Goff says, hey, send me back to L.A. for Stafford? But my worry with Stafford is, man, he just compiled so many injuries on that body. I'm not his family member. I'm going to say this. At some point, man, you got enough cash. You can't buy a new body. Just don't want him to be one of those guys in the retirement home drooling all over himself because he took so many shots. Too much pride with Harris. Yeah, pound the drums. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Harris has a couple of good games. He's had a couple of good plays, especially in recent weeks with the interception and then the fumble. But I'm also going to say this about that interception. The person, due to, at least when you watch the film, from what I can see, Harris was supposed to be with Mike Evans. So I don't know, man. Maybe he foretold the future and said, I don't need to guard this bum. I know, who was it? Bugs is going to tip this pass. I'm going to be there for the interception. But if he hadn't, we'd all be roasting Harris because that would have been a touchdown to Evans. All right. I'd like to see us concentrate on getting J-Mo some shorter routes to build his confidence. I think he'll be fine with some more reps. I'm kind of with you there too. And not everything has to be a deep shot. Yeah, he just needs some confidence building. Justin, what do you got? As far as Goff, I just don't like how he can't extend plays like more mobile quarterbacks. His accuracy is great, but he needs to take a team-friendly deal because of this offense that made him look so good. He's obviously not a scrambling quarterback, but I will also say this: he's played for two different offenses, and he's taken two different offenses into top 5 status in the NFL. So he clearly has aspects of his game he can't do or just isn't good at. But what he is good at, he's pretty good at. So I will say this: if we don't keep him, somebody else is going to come get him. I have no doubt about that. All right, one funky Hooker is the top career completion percentage in Tennessee history at almost 70%. People hear a narrative and run with it. That's just part of business, I could say. Watch the national media on any sport. Most of these people actually don't have enough time to watch everybody, so they regurgitate what they've heard other people take or what their I forget the name of the person, but when they go on air, they have a couple of analysts or analytic persons that give them notes, tidbits to use, and most of those guys get them from the same place. So it's just kind of how it goes. That's why so many comments sound alike. They just need to keep the O-line in top shape. I would agree, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have a late first-round draft pick this year. I won't be surprised if they spend it on the offensive line. Taylor Decker is starting to get up there a little bit in years. Big V, I won't be surprised if they move on from Jackson. You're going to have to make a choice about that contract because if you invest in him, you've got a lot of money in that offensive line. And I'm not saying they shouldn't invest in him, but they clearly value offensive line. You look at Sewell, Frank the Tank, all of them. I mean, they're going to try to keep that line solid, I believe. All right, mile marker, what do you got? Hey, chat, maybe if you haven't already, think about clicking like, also share, and then copy. You don't have to send it, but it still counts. Good for the channel. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it all helps out. It all helps out. All right, we're 50-some minutes in. I hear the sounds of the Circle K calling me, so I'm going to wrap this one up. If something pops up today as far as breaking news, I'll hop on and get it over to you guys. But otherwise, we'll see you all tomorrow on the next Lions Talk Live. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Hit that thumbs up button, whatever you want to call it. You guys all have a great one. Make it a Mountain Dew day and enjoy the rest of your day. See you tomorrow morning on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.